He walked 10 miles to school every day, then everything changed. The boy who refused to quit, a true story that'll break and lift your heart. From dusty feet to graduation stage, of village boy's journey. This is the story of a boy who walked to school with torn shoes, a hungry stomach, and a burning dream. His name was Jacob, and though no one believed in him at first, he never stopped believing in himself. What happened by the end of this story will surprise you and maybe even change you. Every morning at 5:30 a.m., Jacob left his home, a tiny mud hut on the edge of the village. His school was 10 kilometers away, dusty roads, sharp stones, and no transport. But he walked, with a worn-out bag hanging from one shoulder, and torn rubber shoes flapping at the heels. Some days, it rained. Some days, it burned hot. Still, he walked. He sat at the back. Not because he was shy, but because the other kids laughed at his uniform. It was stitched so many times, the threads looked like spiderwebs. His lunch? Often nothing, just warm water from the school tap. And yet, when the teacher asked questions, Jacob's hand always shot up first. Not because he was the smartest, but because he was the hungriest, not for food, but for a future. Hey, look at his shoes. They laughed. Did your cow eat your trousers again? He heard it every day. But Jacob never fought back. He just smiled, and studied harder. At home, his mother sold bananas on the roadside. His father hadn't come home in 2 years. But still, he walked to school. Every day. No excuses. One day, the head teacher announced a national writing competition. Write about the biggest lesson life has taught you, the prompt said. Jacob went home. No light, no electricity, but he borrowed a candle from the neighbor, and wrote. He wrote about walking to school. About hunger. About humiliation, and about why he still walked. The paper was wrinkled, but his words were clear. Weeks passed. Then, one morning, a letter arrived. It was from the Ministry of Education. Jacob had won first place in the entire district. The school called an assembly. They read his story out loud. For once, the kids didn't laugh. They clapped. Some even cried. That day, Jacob didn't sit at the back. His story reached a local charity, then a radio station. By the end of the year, Jacob received a full scholarship, uniform, shoes, books, and meals. But he still walked to school, even when he could afford transport. Why do you still walk? Someone asked. Jacob smiled. Because the road reminded me where I'm going. Years passed. Jacob finished high school, top of his class. He stood on the graduation stage, wearing a suit someone donated. His speech made the crowd stand up. I walked so I could run, he said. Now, I want to fly, and take others with me. Maybe you're like Jacob. Maybe you walk alone. Maybe you're hungry, not just for food, but for opportunity. Maybe people laugh at your dream. But remember this. Success doesn't begin with money, it begins with mindset. Jacob didn't wait for a better road. He walked the one he had. And somehow, that road led him somewhere amazing. So don't give up. Keep walking. Because